if it is clear. Okay, good, nice. Let's start with the session. Okay, let's start now. We'll start with the session. We are actually started with a concept called what features of Hibernate. So in this features of Hibernate, the one which I just explained yesterday is called about HQL, which stands for Hibernate Query Language. Hibernate Query Language, that is the what we can call, this is the own query language of Hibernate. This is what I told in the last class. Okay, HQL stands for Hibernate Query Language, and it is the own query language of Hibernate. Basically, if you look at about SQL, when we talk about SQL, using SQL also we can define queries in our application, but the issue with SQL is what sometimes the queries become database dependent, which means what that query may not work in other database. There is a change required to work in other database in the query. Nothing but the same query may not work in other database. So Hibernate has given a solution for this problem. What the problem? What is the solution given for this problem is you can write HQL queries in the Hibernate application. HQL queries are database independent. There is no relation between the query and database. Nothing but what this query may run on. Sorry, this query will run on any database of your choice. It doesn't matter whether you are working with database like Oracle, or maybe the database server like MySQL, or the database server like PostgreSQL, whatever it is. But the same query will execute on every database. You don't need to make any changes to the query. That is called database independent query language. Basically, HQL is a database independent query language. SQL is a database dependent query language. This is what yesterday's session. And I gave 2-3 examples like how we can able to write the queries, but it is totally, we are going to look at about HQL concept separately, how to write queries to select the complete records, partial records, or how can we perform updations, deletions on the data. So these queries we are going to run separately. Just we are only discussing about what is what in Hibernate. That's what. Okay, that is what called one of the feature. This HQL. This is yesterday's session. Coming to today's point of view. Okay, this is a brief introduction, guys. In online, I think you might have understood about it. Now, coming to today's session. Okay. Coming to today's session, yeah. Yeah, coming to today's session. Now, what we are going to start today, we want to discuss about all the remaining features of Hibernate. The other feature, the second feature which I would like to explain as part of this Hibernate is, in Hibernate you have a concept called, which is an important feature of course, called caching. So today I'm just going to talk about what caching does. It is another important feature of Hibernate. First of all, I would like to say yesterday I told about what is JPA. JPA stands for Java Persistence API, and JPA is what a specification. JPA is a specification, and for the JPA specification there are multiple implementations are available. One of the best implementation is Hibernate, right? We call Hibernate as an ORM tool, right? For a JPA specification, there are multiple implementations available. One of the implementation is what? Hibernate. One of the implementation is what? Hibernate. Other implementations are also available. I told like Eclipse Link. We can say that OpenJPA, Data Nucleus, blah, 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 MyButties. So these are all the different implementations available, but one of the popular implementation of JPA is Hibernate. And we even got yesterday how we can differentiate JPA and Hibernate. Writing the DAO classes directly with JPA, writing the DAO classes directly with Hibernate is having a difference. So yesterday you got what the difference, like if I create my DAO classes using Hibernate directly, what is the problem? If I am creating my DAO classes with JPA, then what is an advantage? Like that we discussed in the last class, right? Coming to today's point of view, we want to know about what is caching. Actually, let's take a diagram to understand about it. I'll explain you. See, requirement is, suppose I have a Java application. Suppose I have a Java application. Okay. Suppose I have a Java application. My Java program or Java application, doesn't matter, whatever. My Java application, okay, my Java application is actually asking the Hibernate. My Java application is asking the Hibernate. For example, this is a Hibernate. Okay. My Java application is asking the Hibernate. What my Java application is asking like this. Let me give diagram clearly. Let me give the diagram clearly. My Java application is really asking the Hibernate. What my Java application is asking the Hibernate, it is asking like this. What is asking? I want an object from database. Simply, I want an object from database. Who is asking like this? My Java application asking. To whom it is asking? To the Hibernate it is asking. Got my point? My Java application is asking Hibernate that I want an object from database. I want an object from database. What Hibernate will do, it will not directly go to database, and it is not going to read the object from database, and it is not going to give it to the application. What Hibernate will do actually, first Hibernate is going to check. What Hibernate will do, it will check. So what it will check, it is going to check like this. What it is going to check is the object exist in L1 cache. Is the object exist in L1 cache? Who will check like this? Hibernate will check. L1 means level 1. There are 2 levels of cache it maintains. There are 2 levels of cache it will maintain. What is asking, what it is going to check first? It is going to check whether is the object exist in L1 cache? If yes, for example, if yes, then what Hibernate will do? Hibernate will first go to the L1 cache memory. This is L1 cache memory. Level 1 cache memory. L1 means level 1. It's a level 1 cache. It's a level 1 cache. What Hibernate will do now? Hibernate will goes to this level 1 cache, will retrieve the object from level 1 cache, will read the object from level 1 cache, and will provide this object to the Java application. Provides the object to the Java application. Who will do this work? Hibernate. What it is going to check first is the object exists in L1 cache. If no, for example, if no, for example, is not there, then what Hibernate will do is, now it is going to check. What it is going to check is the object exists? I'm writing simply obj. Is the object exist in L2 cache? L2 means level 2. For example, okay, yes, it exists. If yes, what will happen if yes? If yes, what will happen now? Hibernate will go to the level 2 cache. Level 2 cache memory. Level 2 cache memory. Hibernate will go to the level 2 cache memory. And it will first copy the object from level 2 cache memory to the level 1 cache memory. After copying the object from level 2 cache memory to the level 1 cache memory, then Hibernate is going to return that object to the application, or will provide the object from level 1 cache to the application. Again, if no. Again, for example, what is the answer here? If no. What will happen if no? If no, then what Hibernate will do now? There is no L3 cache in Hibernate. It won't check is the object exists in L3 cache or not, okay? Hibernate can only use 2 levels of cache, level 1 and level 2. If no, then obviously Hibernate is not helping to get the object from cache. It will directly go to the database. Now it will go to the database. Now it will go to the database first. Now it will go to the database. It will go to what? Database now. Yeah, it is going to the database. And will load the object from database. It will load the object from database. And will copy that object into the level 2 cache first. We'll copy the object to the level 2 cache. Level 2 cache. Okay. So when Hibernate is really going to the database to load the object from it, first it will check for the object in the level 1 cache. If the object not exist in level 1 cache, then it will go to the level 2 cache. If it is not existing even in level 2 cache also, then it will go to the database. The advantage is what here then? What is the advantage? How it can be a feature? Loading the object from database will take some time. But loading the object from cache memory will be faster. Every time no need to hit the database. If the object is already exist in the cache only, then what will happen? Getting the object from cache is faster than getting the object from the database. Okay. Every time going to database and loading the required object from the database means it will take more time. And moreover, what a database may not be there in your local machine. When you are practicing Hibernate, your Hibernate application and your database server both are running in local machine. But whereas in case of a real-time application, your application is running in your local machine or in some other machine, and its database is running in another machine. Basically, what is happening now? Both are not working in the same machine. Both are working in two different systems. Obviously, what will happen now? It will take more time in the network to go and get the data. So that is the reason why, to improve the application performance, Hibernate uses two levels of cache, or Hibernate maintains two levels of cache. They are called level 1 and level 2. If object not exists in the level 1, then Hibernate will go and check for the object in level 2. If it is in level 2 also not exist, then definitely it will go to the database. Okay, that is okay. Okay, but it is not directly going to the database, so that it will improve the performance. So what is cache memory then? Cache memory is nothing but just buffer, a temporary memory. We can call it as a buffer in our system. That is called what? Temporary memory. What will be stored in that? Objects, whenever they are initially loaded from database, they are stored in cache. Initially, where all the objects are there before I start my application? In the database. When my application is loading an object for first time, it will be loaded from database only. But whenever it is loaded from database, it will be stored in cache. It will be stored in cache. Next time, if the same object is required in my application, then the object will be collected from cache itself without loading it again from database. It will improve the performance. Let's have a trial. For example, if I am asking you, what is the output of the expression? What is the output of the expression 2 plus 2 plus 6? What is the output of the expression 2 plus 2 plus 6? Tell me the answer now. You calculated now 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 6, 10. First time. First time it is 10. Now I'm asking you, what is the output of 2 plus 2 plus 6? You can say immediately 10. You are not taking time to take answer 10, right? First time what happened? You have taken some milliseconds of time, or maybe 1 second time you took for what? To calculate, okay, 2 plus 2 plus 6 equal to, okay, 4 plus 6, 10. But if I'm asking the same question repeatedly, what is output of 2 plus 2 plus 6? What is output of 2 plus 2 plus 6 expression? If I'm asking, keep on asking like that, what is the answer you are immediately telling? 10. Because it is stored in our cache memory. In our brain also we have cache memory. In our brain also we have a cache memory. So there temporary data will be stored. Temporary data will be stored. Now you are accessing the data from cache memory. So immediately you are telling the answer what? 10. Now your answer is faster than first time now. The same concept in Hibernate also. So in Hibernate also, how many levels of cache is there? 2 levels of cache is maintained. Level 1 and level 2 cache is maintained. Okay, how do we work with level 1 cache? Because today we are not writing application. We are not started with any writing application to see the practical. But I will show you the practical. I will show you the practical. Even we can count how many milliseconds time Hibernate took to load the object first time. Next, how many milliseconds it took to load the object for second time, third time, fourth time, like that. Whether with the help of caching, my application performance is improved or not. Within less time, objects are loaded from the database or not. We can check, we can calculate the time intervals. That is all possible in Hibernate. Okay, we can do that. So what is the purpose of caching finally? You got another advantage here. What's the advantage of Hibernate here? What is the advantage of Hibernate here? Yeah, it will improve the performance. Caching. Basically, what I'm writing here, caching improves the performance of an application. Performance of an application by loading the objects into application, by loading the objects from cache memory. In Hibernate, what there are two levels of cache in Hibernate. In Hibernate, two levels of cache. Two levels of cache can be used. In Hibernate, two levels of cache can be used. One is level 1 and second one is level 2. Okay, I'll tell you about level 1 cache in Hibernate, level 2 cache in Hibernate. All these things will come in programming. Just I'm talking about only features. So caching improves the performance of an application by loading the objects from cache memory. By loading the objects from where? Cache memory. Okay, right. Yeah, guys in online, have you understood? Please reply C or N in chat box. Online people, have you understood? Reply me in chat box. Next feature I'm going to explain you guys, that is okay, guys, wait for a minute. I will continue. So we will understand about programmatically what is level 1 and what is level 2. How do we enable level 2 cache in application? Level 1 cache is automatically enabled. Whenever we start writing Hibernate application, automatically level 1 cache is available. But level 2 cache is not available. Level 2 cache, we need to enable it. So we'll discuss how we can enable level 2 cache and all next. I would like to talk about the next feature. I want to talk about the next feature, and that is a third feature, let us say. Some of the important features we are discussing here. The third feature I'm going to explain. In Hibernate, you have a concept called lazy loading. There is a feature called lazy loading. First one I told you, HQL, Hibernate Query Language. Second one I told you, caching. Third one I am going to tell you, lazy loading. We'll discuss about what are the features of Hibernate. As a learner, when you are learning Hibernate or any other technology or any other framework, before you start learning, what are the features of the technology or what are the advantages of the technology? First, you need to identify that. Then you have to learn it. That's what required. Okay, right? Good. So that's the reason why I would like to explain you first of all what are the features of Hibernate. Then you can start learning Hibernate. Okay. Coming to the next one, we will understand about what is lazy loading. Okay. Understand the point clearly. Guys, let us understand about what is lazy loading. So the word lazy is not a new word for us, especially as a human being. And even as a Java developer also. Right? But when it comes to Hibernate, lazy is an advantage in terms of Hibernate. In terms of human being, lazy is a disadvantage. Okay, right? So let's back to the point. Let's take general example of core Java. In core Java classes, you know about creating instance variables and static variables in a class. If you write a class, inside the class, you can write the instance variables and you can also write the static variables. Inside the method also, you can create the variables. Inside the method also, you can create the variables. They are called what variables? Local variables. Local variables. You know, totally variables are three types. Local variables is one category. Three types, I mean, three categories of variables are there. One is local variables, one category. Instance variables is second category. Static variables are also called class variables. That is at the third category. Right? Now, if I am asking question, guys, you type in chat box. If I'm asking a question, what is the difference between instance variable and static variable is my question. You write in chat box. Yeah. Guys, observe here. Correct. Okay. I'm replying him. Okay. If I'm not giving any reply, he feel that whatever he know is correct. Okay. Good. 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 Nice. Okay, guys. Yeah, good reply. Good reply. Many of people did correct reply. Thank you. Thank you. Observe here, guys. If I take instance variable, okay, whether it is an instance variable or a static variable, what will happen? Memory location will be always at heap memory only. Okay, heap memory only. Okay, but a static variable memory is allocated outside of the object. Instance variable memory allocated inside the object. But both variables are allocated in heap memory only. In Java heap only, all these are allocated. But when, for example, if you take a static variable, what will happen in static variable? Whenever the class is loaded into the JVM, then the memory allocation will be done for the static variables. But what about instance variables? No. Whenever an object is created for that class, then only the instance variables will get the memory. Means what is the answer? We can say instance variables are early loaded. Static variables are lazy loaded. Instance variables are early loaded. Static variables are lazy loaded. Lazy loaded. That's what the meaning of it. That's what the meaning of it. Okay. Try to understand what I'm saying now. Correct? Got my pointer? Very good. What's the once again tell me? Instance variables are, but static variables are lazy loaded. Instance variables belongs to the object of a class. Static variables are belongs to the class, nothing but all objects of the class. And of course, instance variables we can invoke only through object. Static variable we can invoke through class also. You can have the differences like that. But here I want the two words called early loading and lazy loading. Which variables are early loaded? Which variables are early loaded? Correct. Type in chat box. Which variables are early loaded? Which variables are early loaded? Very good. I want to tell you now, static variables are early loaded. Because which variable is getting the early memory? Static variable only now. Who is getting the memory early? Static variable is getting the memory early. What about instance variable? It will get the memory lazy. Lazy in the sense what? Not at the time of loading the class into JVM. Whenever the object is created for the class, then memory will be allocated for the instance variable. Nothing but what? Which variables are lazily loaded? Instance variables are lazy loaded. Which variables are early loaded? Static variables are early loaded. That's what early and lazy two words. Okay. Yeah, guys. Remember the point. Okay, let's have a discussion some more time to understand it. Guys, listen clearly, carefully. Once again. Suppose I have a servlet class. I think multiple of people know about servlets already. I have a servlet class. I know that there is a web container in server. Server is nothing but what? What is server? What is a server? What is a server and what is a container? We'll ask this question in interview. Type in chat box. You have to pay extra fees to me. Huh. Okay, write in chat box, guys. Take your own time. 1 minute time. Think about it and tell me answer. What is a server and what is a container? Those who knows about the serverless technology should give me answer today. Yes, guys. Okay. What is a server and what is a container? Please give me response in chat box. Okay. Okay. Huh. What is a server and what is container? Yeah. Server is a software. First point to know. Server is a software where we can host our web applications. Server is a software where we can host, means deploy, where we can deploy or where we can host our web applications. Right? It will provide the runtime environment for our web application. Who will provide the runtime environment for our web application? Server will provide the runtime environment for our web application. Good. Then who is a container? Container is a subprogram in software. Sorry, in server software. Container is a one program in server software. Who can manage the life cycle of a servlet or JSP? In order to manage the life cycle of a servlet or a JSP in the server software, there is a person sitting inside. That person name is called container. So container is a subprogram in a server software. You can take server software as a big circle. Containers is a small circle inside it. Okay, right? What it will do, it will manage the life cycle of a servlet or JSP. Servlet or JSP. That is called which container? That is called which container actually? Web container. What is it? The server you are calling as web server. Okay, you should know the difference between web server and web container. Web server and application server. Okay, right? Web servers are there, application servers are there. Tomcat is a web server, JBoss is an application server, WebLogic is an application server. Like that, you should know about the difference between web server and application server, web server and web container. These differences you should know. Okay, right. Anyhow, it's getting delayed, so I want to continue without going into advanced technology. Lazy loading is a concept. Coming to Hibernate point of view, guys. Okay, let's move on, guys. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Listen here, guys. Coming to Hibernate. Actually, in Hibernate, okay, in Hibernate, early loading of objects is there and lazy loading of objects both are there. Early loading in the sense, Immediately, whenever my Java program is asking the Hibernate, please load this object for me from database. Hibernate will first go to the cache. If not, will go to the database, will get the object and gives to my application. All these will be done immediately. This is called what loading? Early loading. Whenever my Java program is asking the Hibernate that, please, I want this object from database. Then what Hibernate will do? Hibernate will return that object to the application. It doesn't matter whether it is loading it from cache memory or directly from database. Secondary thing. If not available in cache, it will go to database only, na? Right. That's the first point. Second point. When my application is asking the Hibernate, I want this object from database. My requirement is, I want this object from database, so please give it to me. When my application is asking the Hibernate, what Hibernate will do? It will not go to the database, or it will not even go to the cache also without going to anywhere. It will create one proxy object. It will create one proxy object, proxy. Proxy object means it is not the real object, but acts like real object. It is used in place of that. In place of one object, a real object, if you are keeping a dummy object, that is called proxy object. Are you getting my point? Okay. Proxy is not a new word to you. Proxy, you know it already. Because you many times acted as a proxy. You are many times acted as a proxy. Let me give a simple example. Sir, when I acted as a proxy, I don't know. You know it. Go back to your school age. Okay. When teacher or master is taking attendance, actually, your friend has not attended the school on the day. But whenever his number comes, for example, number 14, okay, then what you said at that time, because your friend told you, okay, please say yes for my number. Then what you did? Present, sir, and immediately you are going to head down. If you keep a head up, then teacher will recognize, na? So head down. Nothing but what you did there, you are a proxy. You are not your real friend, but you are acting like your friend at that time, right? That is called proxy. What will happen in Hibernate also? Okay, what will happen in Hibernate also? Hibernate also will do the same thing. It will not go to the cache memory. It will not go to the database. What it will do? What it will do? It will create one proxy object and will give that object to my application. Right? When my application really trying to access data from that object, at that moment, Hibernate will now go to the database and will load the data from the object. Till that moment, it will not go to the database or cache and it will not load the data. This is also for performance only. For example, my application is loading an object from database but not using it. Then one trip is wasted, no? Between what and what? This application to the database, one round trip is wasted, no? Yes. Correct? Guys in online, are you getting my point? Write in chat box C or N. Make it fast. Fast, guys. Make it fast. Waiting for a response. Okay. Good. I'll explain it again. Don't worry. Yeah. More response. Make it fast. Good. Observe here, guys. What I am trying to say is, suppose this is my application. This person is Hibernate. My application is asking this Hibernate. Hey, Hibernate, I want an employee with number 7878. But this Hibernate is not going to the cache or database. Assume that this is a cache or maybe a database, leave about that. What I'm trying to say now, it will not go there. It is not going there. It's not going there. What it is doing, it will create one proxy object and will return this proxy object to my application. Correct? Now this is called what object? Proxy object. Who created this proxy object? Hibernate has created it. Returned this object to my application. Whenever my application, this object goes to this place now, right? Whenever my application is using this object, accessing the object means what? Either getting the data from the object or setting the new data to the object. At that time, what Hibernate will do then? What Hibernate will do then? We'll go to the database. We'll go to the database. We'll load the data from database and we'll set the data to the proxy object. We'll set the data to the proxy. First, what happened here? Let us do animation. What happened here? First, what is happening? First, my application is asking to whom? This is my application, my program, my application. This guy is Hibernate guy. This guy is database guy. Is a database guy or cache, whatever. Okay, tell me what is happening then? What is happening here? First, my application is what? My application is asking the Hibernate what I want? Object from database. What Hibernate is creating? Proxy object. 2, creating the proxy object. 3, what is happening now? Sending this object to the application. Now what my application got? The proxy object. My application got the proxy object, which means I'll delete this proxy from the Hibernate side. Understand me? Okay, tell me now. The proxy is given to whom? Application. Next, what my application is doing now? My application is calling the methods. Nothing but what? My application is accessing the data. Accessing the data. From which object? Proxy. When my application is accessing the data from proxy, what will happen now? Hibernate will go to the database. Hibernate will go to the database and will load the data from the database table. Will load the data from the table and will return that data to the proxy object. Proxy object. Means question is, when really Hibernate is going to the cache or database and loading the object from database? When my application is accessing the data from the proxy. What happens if it is not accessing? Delete this. Then it won't go to the database and it will not load the record from the database. Able to follow me now? These are all will not happen. What's the advantage of this now? It is not wasting the trip between application to the database. For example, what is happening? If it is directly going to the database, collecting the object and giving to the application, application taken that object and not using anything with that object. Then tell me, this object is unnecessarily loaded from the database. Na? Unnecessarily loaded means what? Trip is wasted. Na? It will definitely impact on the performance of the application. Am I right or not? Right. For that purpose, in Hibernate, we got a concept called what? Lazy loading. Lazy loading means what? Hibernate will load an object from database only if necessary. But it will not load the object from database unnecessarily. You are getting my point now? So that is the advantage of what? Lazy loading. So what Hibernate will do first, it will create the proxy object. First, Hibernate will create a proxy object and it will return the proxy object to the application. And whenever application is accessing the object, then Hibernate will load the real data from the database. So nothing but what? It is not wasting. It is not wasting the round trip between application to the database so that it can improve the performance. Now this is called what loading? Lazy loading. You got my point, everyone, guys? Everyone, guys, have you got it? Now you can reply in chat yes or no. Okay. Yeah, I'm giving 2 minutes time. Please write your own sentences. Let's see how much you understood on lazy loading. Start writing. Just okay, for sample, write 2-3 statements how you understood about lazy loading. Guys, I'm giving a minute of time. Whatever you have understood, just try to recollect and try to write as a 2-3 statements so that you will get more clarity. Okay, early loading and lazy loading are the two important things that you should know in Hibernate. Okay, I will explain you everything. Let's me very, 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 very clearly. Don't worry about that. Okay, again, you no need to learn in your life for second time. Yeah, guys. Clear now? Very good. Good to know. Now, next one, guys. So basically, lazy loading is that one now. What happens in lazy loading is, okay. So when a Java application is asking for an object, the Hibernate will create a proxy object and returns to the application. Right? When a Java application is asking for an object or whatever it is, the Hibernate will create a proxy object and returns it to the application. Without loading it from a cache or a database. From a cache or a database. Okay, that is the first point I would like to say. The second point I would like to say is, when application is accessing the proxy object, when application accessing the proxy object, then yeah, Hibernate will load the real object from the database. We load the real object from the database. By doing this, it will reduce the, means Hibernate will reduce the, better word. Hibernate will reduce the what? Round trips between application database. Hibernate will reduce the round trips between application database. So by doing this, Hibernate will reduce the round trips between application database. This is the lazy loading feature we discussed. Now coming to the fourth feature. Okay, guys. Fourth feature I'm explaining you. Connection pooling. I'm explaining about connection pooling feature, what it is in Hibernate. Guys, okay, na? There is a concept called what here? Connection pooling. There is a concept called what? Connection pooling. Connection pooling is also a feature. Now let us understand what this connection pooling is. Okay, see. Basically, if I have a Java application, okay, I'm asking a question, guys. Be ready to give a response in chat box. See, I'm writing a Java application. My Java application wants to get the database connection. Because without getting any database connection, my Java application cannot do any other operations like inserting, updating, deleting, selecting. To perform any of these operations on the data, what is required? Connection is required. Without database connection, application cannot do anything with the database, right? Now my question is what? What is the question I'm asking you is, if my Java application wants to get the connection with the database, then how many ways are there in Java to get the database connection? Yeah. Tell me your answer. Write in the chat box. What are they? Yes? What are they? No. Yeah, guys, write in chat. What are the two ways? No. Yeah. I would like to tell you guys. Yeah. The correct answer is you take any Java application. If an application wants to get a database connection, there are two ways are available. One is using driver manager class. One is using driver manager class. Second one is using data source interface. Using data source interface. Driver manager is a class. Data source is an interface. Understand this point, guys? Everybody? Okay. How many ways are available for a Java application to get the database connection? Two ways are available. One is using driver manager class. Second one is using data source interface. Driver manager class will always provide physical connection with the database. What type of connection? Physical connection with the database. Physical connections are not reusable connections. Not reusable connections. Not reusable connections. Driver manager will always give physical connection. With a data source, we can get the connection from pool. We can get the connection from pool. What is connection pool, first of all? Connection pool is nothing but it is an area or a buffer where ready-made connections are stored. A pool of 10 connections or a pool of 20 connections, a pool of 5 connections, like that. Like that. Getting my point? What is connection pool? Connection pool is a memory area or a buffer or a temporary memory where database connections are stored. They are ready-made connections, nothing but already opened with database. Connection is opened with the database. That connection is stored in one memory area. That is called pool. Connection pool. Java developer must know about connection pooling. Okay. Getting my point, everyone? Are you getting my point in chat box? Please give me a reply. I'm writing here. I'm writing here. If you feel that this is a connection pool, and if you feel that these are the connections. Okay, I feel you feel like this, guys. You feel like this. This is connection pool. This is connection pool. Listen to me. I'm telling you, this is connection pool. This is connection pool. In connection pool, what are they? There are connections. I'm writing simply con. Understand me, guys. This is con. Say this is one more con. And say, for example, this is one more con. Means what are all these cons? These are the connection objects. These are the ready-made connection objects. Means what? Already opened connection objects. These are all already opened connection objects. Already opened connection objects. Got my point now? So what is connection pool? Connection pool contains a group of ready-made connection objects. That is called connection pool. It's a pool. Okay, right? Now, what is the advantage of this pool? Suppose my Java application want connection. Why it want a connection? Because my Java application want to execute some queries on the database. If my program want to execute any queries on database, what is required? Connection is required. Obviously required, na? Yes. What will happen then? There is a mediator called data source. I'm writing in shortcut DS. Feel DS as a data source. Data source. What my Java program will do? My Java program will ask the DS. My Java program is not asking the driver manager, because driver manager class cannot give the connection from pool. But who can give the connection from pool to my application? Data source can do that work. It has that capability. So what my Java application will do? It is asking the data source object. What is asking? Please get the connection for me. What this DS will do? It will now go to the connection pool, will take one connection and will return this connection back to the application. Tell me what my application received? Connection. With this connection, what my program will do? Will perform all the queries, inserting, updating, delete, select, all these things. Once my work is done, what my application will do? Will close it. Closing means not really closing. Whenever my application is closing, now this connection will go back. Will go back from my application to the pool again. To the pool again. Means what is happening? My application is getting the connection from pool. Once my application work is done, again that connection is reverted back to the pool again. Why? In order to get a feature called reusability. What the feature name here? Reusability. The same connection can be used next time also, no? Right. Which is nothing but reusability. Nothing but what is connection pool? Connection pool is a group of reusable database connections. What is this? Reusable database connections. That is called what? Connection pool. Guys, are you getting my point? Write in chat. Yes, no. Y or N. Otherwise C or N. Make it fast. Make it fast. Lot of things are there to explain. I'll explain. Just give me C or N. Make it fast. Make it fast. Good. Yeah. Back to the point here. So what is connection pool definition? What is the connection pool definition? Huh? A connection pool is a, connection pool is a group of reusable, what is that? Reusable database connection objects. Reusable, na? That's the reason why they are called as pooled connection objects. What objects? Pooled connection objects. Pooled connection objects. Nothing but reusable connection objects. That's what the meaning of it. Again, I don't want to go into much deeper, very deeper. I can explain. If you want, I'll write the code also internally how connection pool is created. Okay, but that much level is not your level and it's not required also. Understand, just reusable connections are called as pooled connection objects. So what is connection pool finally? It is a group of pooled connection objects. Pooled connection meaning reusable connection objects. That's all. Okay. What my application will do? My application will get the connection from the pool using data source, not driver manager, using data source. Once my application has completed the work, my application will return the connection back to the pool again. Okay. Coming to Hibernate. This is little bit idea on connection pooling. Coming to Hibernate. In Hibernate, we have a built-in connection pooling mechanism. Built-in the sense what? You no need to write even a single line of code. You no need to write even a single line of code for this. What will happen in Hibernate? Whenever you start Hibernate application, Hibernate only will create the pool. Got my point? Hibernate will create the pool. Hibernate will get the connection from the pool, and Hibernate will return the connection back to the pool. What about your application? You no need to touch anything like this. I am not using Hibernate then. Suppose I am writing JDBC program, because you all know about writing JDBC program. Whenever we start JDBC program, then we don't see the screen also, right? We only see the keyboard. Fatafat Danadan, right? Very good. First statement, class dot for name. Today no need of writing that also. Next one is what? Connection, CONN equal to driver manager dot get connection of URL, username, password, semicolon. Next statement, STMT equal to con dot create statement. Next word, result set RS equal to STMT dot execute query, select star from EMP, while RS dot next, SOP, RS dot close, STMT close, con close, program ready. Correct? We know the steps. First step is this, next step is this, next step is this. These are steps wise writing the code. That's the reason why JDBC programs are easy to write and almost the same. If you keep the two JDBC programs side by side in notebook, the two programs are same. If this program has 10 lines, this program has 10 lines, only 2 lines are different, remaining lines are same, right? So that's easy to write. Okay, I agree with that. So coming to connection pooling, if you are writing JDBC application, you have to do all these things. You have to create a data source object. You have to create a connection pool. You have to get the connection from pool. You have to return the connection back to the pool. Who should do all these things? Developer. Developer has to write all these things in the code. But what about Hibernate? Built in Hibernate, all this is built in, directly given, just like use it. You know of doing anything. Hibernate only will create the pool. Hibernate only will get the connection from pool and will return the connection back to the pool. Who takes care of all these things? Whenever you shut down your application, Hibernate will shut down this pool also. Means creating the pool, means creating the connection pool, destroying the pool, managing the pool, getting the objects from pool, returning the objects to the pool. Who will take care of all these things? Hibernate. This is an advantage only now. You are getting my point now? What the fourth feature I have explained you? Connection pooling. What will happen in Hibernate? Hibernate has a built-in connection pooling mechanism. Whenever we start the Hibernate application, automatically a connection pool will be started, created. And whenever we shut down the application of Hibernate, then that connection pool will be destroyed. And Hibernate will take care of getting the object from pool and returning the object also back to the pool. Everything will be taken care by connection pool only. You are nothing to write even a one line of code. If you are not working with Hibernate, you have to write all this code. Got the difference now? Right. Is a feature only now? Excellent. Excellent. I'm writing the points. Guys in online, are you getting my point? Everybody, type CRN, make it fast. Okay. Good. Good. Let me write the point for today. Okay. I'm just explaining you guys the important features and the correct features. Okay. I want to tell you once again that I don't want to tell you that Hibernate is easy to learn is one feature. Okay, Hibernate is easy to, everything is easy to learn only. There is nothing hard, right? Everything is easy only. Easy to apply, is simple, is very friendly, feel like your friend. I don't want to include these number of, I don't want to concentrate on giving 4 features completed, 5th one, 6th one, 7th one, 8th one, 9th one. Okay, I will not satisfy you in that we have giving 10 features. Okay, if they are important features, if you learn 5, that is enough. If they are unnecessary features, if you learn 50, also waste. Right? So try to focus here. Understand now. Observe here. Okay, I'm writing the point here. Hibernate has a built-in connection pooling mechanism. Hibernate has a built-in connection pooling mechanism. Where it creates a pool when application is started, maintains it, and destroys the pool when application is shut down. Right? Guys, every day, try to recollect what you are learning. Once the class is over, recollect in this session today what I have learned. Spend 5 minutes with you. Introspect with you. Introspection is very important. Okay. Introspect with you. After the class is completed, sit 5 minutes and recollect what I have learned today, what I have learned yesterday. These two are very important. Okay, don't worry about what I am going to learn tomorrow. Got my point, guys, everyone? Right. So you got 3 important features today, actually very important features they are. What are they? One is a caching. It is called caching. How many levels of cache available in Hibernate? 2. Out of 2, level 1 is by default enabled. Level 2 is disabled. Remember, level 2 is disabled. Level 1 is enabled. If required, you can enable level 2. I'll tell you how to enable it. But which level is enabled first? Level 1. If you want, you can enable level 2 also. I'll tell you what the difference between level 1 and level 2 in coding part. What is the purpose of caching? What is the advantage of caching? Definitely, it will reduce the number of trips between application and database. It will improve the performance of the application. That is what? Caching. Or the other one I told? Lazy loading. Tell me, by default, a servlet class is lazy loaded or early loaded? Chat box. Use your chat box. Please type the answer. If you know the servlet. By default, a servlet is early loaded or lazy loaded is a question. Yeah. Guys. Yeah, I'm observing in chat box. Please write in chat box. If you know the servlet, just write only for to recap your subject. Yeah, guys. Remember, by default, a servlet class is lazy loaded. Lazy loading is correct answer. It's meaning whenever a servlet gets a first request from a user, whenever a servlet gets very first request from a user, then only the container will create object for the servlet. Servlet is a class now. You are writing, right? Extending generic servlet or extending HTTP servlet, overriding do get, do post methods. You are writing now. Very good. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you now, whenever a servlet gets very first request from a user, then the container in the server will create object until first request is coming, until first request is coming, object is not created. Getting my point? Means when the object is created for servlet, servlet is a class now. When its object is created by the container, whenever that servlet gets the first request. What happens if the second, third, fourth request also comes? Will it create second, third, fourth, fifth objects also? No. No. How many objects are created? One object only created. But when it is created? Whenever first request is arrived. Whenever first request is arrived. Till the first request is arrived, object is not created. Nothing but it is early loading or lazy loading. Lazy loading only, na? Early loading means what? Whenever I start the server, automatically object must be created. Don't wait for the first request. That is called early loading. But that doesn't happen in servlet. By default, it is lazy loaded. If you want, you can load it early. Guys, are you getting in chat box? Please reply. Getting my point? In servlet also two concepts are there. What and what? Early loading. By default, it is lazy loaded. If you want, you can early load it. There is a concept called a load on startup. One attribute is there. Okay, good. Yeah, guys, that's for the session. We'll continue on tomorrow. Online guest, just wait. Wait for a minute. Yeah, guys, online people, whatever the class notes is there, whatever the notes we have, so far we have not studied any example, but we are discussing very, very important subject in Java, right? Guys, are you understanding this subject? Everyone, are you getting my voice and are you getting everything? Whatever I'm explaining here? Ah, nice guess, nice, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, cool, guys. Okay. You all will get because you already have completed your payment, right? Everybody have you done? Everybody have you done? Have you done your payment? Yes, sir. Once you done, whenever you done your payment, then you will be getting, then you'll be getting credentials to access our Ashokati portal. In that portal, I will upload so far whatever the classes are completed, all the notes are there. All these things, okay, all these things you can find there and you can download them also. Okay, good. That's what I would like to say. Attend the sessions very regularly. Attend the sessions very regularly. Recollecting is very important because every day I'm going to explain so many things. Okay. Guys, recollecting is very important. Just sit for 5 minutes. Just sit for 5 minutes. Okay, today these are the features of Hibernate I have learned. Okay, like that you recollect. So that what happens, you can remember it forever a long time. That's very, very important, guys. Okay, please focus on that. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And we will continue on tomorrow. I will upload the notes today. At some point of time today, I will upload all the notes, today's notes, yesterday's notes, day before yesterday notes, whatever these 4 classes notes is there. All the 4 documents I will upload, and you can visit, you can log in with your credentials and you can download. Okay. Right. Thank you. Any other queries you have, guys? Okay, then. Thank you.